Is that the key to recovering your power and confidence in the storage room in a bottle of blue tablets, literally within your reach? For many older men aged 50 and 60, sexual vitality seems to have ended. They feel frustrated, even a little embarrassed, when their body doesn't respond like they remember. But what I'm sharing today is an ancestral technique supported by the modern understanding of physiology, which can begin to reconfigure the system that you believed the age had been disabled forever. I will show you a specific point that, by massaging it for just 60 seconds, can awaken the nerves and blood flow, the true source of male function. This feeling of frustration is something I see every day in my workshop. It's the anxiety for the performance that is coming, the silent fear that this stage of your life, this expression of vitality and connection, is simply over. You might have attributed it to age, as if it was a final and inevitable verdict. You may have felt that pang of despair, the feeling that the only options are medicines with secondary effects or bold solutions that don't convince you. This fog of doubt can affect your confidence much more throughout the bedroom, affecting your perception of the world. True pain is not physical, it's the feeling of being disconnected from your own body. Now, imagine a different scenario. Imagine the freedom of knowing that your body works for you, not against you. Imagine the confidence of knowing that you have a simple but powerful tool to reactivate your natural function. We don't have a magical solution from night to morning, but a profound method to release the innate potential of your body. We can restore fluidity, awaken your nerves, and recover the confidence that gives you control. That's the promise we'll cover today. The solution does not consist of forcing a chemical reaction. It's about eliminating physical and energetic blocks that stand in the way. I am Dr. Julia Morgan, and my specialty is functional medicine with a deep focus on men's health. For years, I have helped men like Ested find real and holistic solutions to recover their vitality without relying solely on drugs. My work is not just about treating a symptom, it's about understanding the entire body system. I focus on solutions that unlock the healing and performance capacity that already exists in us. I have seen men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s come to my office frustrated and convinced that their age was a sentence. And I saw them rediscover their power because we understand the root cause. I'm here to share this focus with you today, with clarity and compassion. In the next few minutes, I will reveal to you exactly where this activation point is, how to use it correctly, and the number one error that all men commit, and which makes this technique completely useless. This error is subtle, but it marks the difference and ensures that the system remains blocked. But first, for this to work, for you need to understand why it stops working. You need to understand your true enemy. Before starting this trip, simply say, "I like you," if you believe that men deserve real and lasting solutions. On the ground, quick remedies. This simple click helps me know that we are on the right path. Understanding the why is the first step towards permanent change. Let's stop it because it's more fundamental. The true enemy of your power is not, most of the time, your age. It's pelvic obstruction. In my consultation, I call him the Triangulo de la Potencia. Consider your erectile function as a three-part system that must work in perfect harmony. You need hormones, which give us desire. You need blood flow, which is the hydraulic system that creates firmness. You need clear nerve signals, which are the engine that starts the whole process. Many men believe that their problem is hormonal, but in the vast majority of cases they see, their hormones are inadequate. The problem is that the hydraulic system and the engine are failing. The desire may exist, but the hydraulic system, blood flow to the penis, is restricted. It's an engineering problem, not a chemical one. The deep arteries responsible for flooding the erectile tissue with blood are incredibly small and vulnerable. It passes through an area of the body subjected to immense pressure and tension throughout the day. If this route is blocked, no matter how much the brain wants the answer, the blood simply cannot reach its destination with sufficient strength. It's like trying to inflate a globe with a bent paddle. The intention is there, but the physical delivery is compromised. In addition to the hydraulic system, there is the engine, nerve signals. The main nerve responsible for this show is the pudendal nerve. This nerve sends the message from the brain and spinal cord to the blood vessels, indicating that they open and allowing blood flow. If this nerve becomes compressed, irritated, or swollen due to chronic pressure, the signal weakens, like a static radio connection. Your brain can scream, "Adelante," but your muscles and blood vessels only hear a whisper. Communication is cut off, and the result is a weak or non-existent response, which causes this frustration that we all know so well. Who is to blame? The common enemy is our modern lifestyle. It's the Scylla. Hours and hours pass, day after day, year after year, sitting. We sit on the workshop bench, in the seat of the car, or on the sofa. We exert constant and relentless pressure on the pelvic floor. This area is not designed to support the weight of the upper body for 8 hours at a time. This sitting posture, combined with mental stress that tenses the deep pelvic muscles without us noticing, creates an environment of chronic compression. Without telling us, we are deactivating our own system. This chronic compression has devastating effects. First, it literally compresses and restricts the deep arteries mentioned. The blood flow is physically strangled. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it irritates and compresses the pudendal nerve. This nerve falls between tense and tense muscles, and constant pressure renders it useless. The body, in its wisdom, begins to fall asleep in the area to protect it from the pain of compression, but when doing so, it also puts the function to sleep. You don't feel pain, you simply don't feel anything. The function slowly fades, and it is wrongly blamed on age. To make things worse, this constant physical pressure, combined with the mental stress of work, finances, and the anxiety for performance, puts your nervous system in a state of alert. Your body goes into lucha o huida mode, the friendly mode. An erection is a function of rest and recovery, the parasympathetic mode. You can't be in both at the same time. When your body is in stress protection mode, the last thing that matters is performance. The blood drains from the pelvic organs to the extremities, preparing you to run the fight. Your body is actively working against your desires. This is the most powerful analogy that hurts my patients. Touch your blood flow and your nervous system like a garden hose. Your hormones and your desire are the griffo, ready to open up. But your lifestyle, your sedentary lifestyle and stress, is like a heavy hill right in the middle of that hose. You can go to the griffo and open it with all your strength, taking tablets or chemicals to increase desire, but you will only save a load of water. The solution is no longer pressed under the emphasis. The solution is to get rid of that damn hose drain. You need to release the prison. The science is clear in this regard. In extreme cases, we observe the so-called cyclist syndrome, in which professional cyclists spend hours in a hard sill, resulting in swelling and severe erectile dysfunction. Why? Direct compression of the pudendal nerve. Likewise, male pelvic floor physiotherapy is an expanding field that focuses on releasing chronically tense pelvic floor muscles to restore blood flow and nerve function. This is not theory, it's body mechanics. The problem is not that you are broken, but that you are compressed. I vividly remember a patient, Richard, age 62 years. I spend most of the day doing work, often sitting for hours. He came to my appointment frustrated, convinced that his testosterone levels had dropped and that his sex life had ended. Read more analysis. Hormonally, I was very good for your age. The problem wasn't its chemistry, it was its land. I didn't have a hormonal problem, just a compression problem. When he understood this, when he realized that his enemy was mechanical prison, everything changed for him. I felt hope for the first time in years. This change in perspective is what I want for you. Before I show you exactly how to release the hose from the hose with this 1-minute technique, I want you to stop and think. Say in your comments, on a scale from 0 to 10, how much time do you spend sitting each day? Be completely honest with yourself. 4 hours? 8 hours? But I want you to visualize the physical impact of this prison, hour after hour, accumulating in this vital area. Recognizing your enemy is the first step to defeating him. Now, let's go to the solution. We release tension. The technique focuses on a specific point of acupressure known for thousands of years in Oriental medicine, but it aligns perfectly with our modern understanding of pelvic anatomy. The point is called Hui Yin, or CV1, conception vessel 1. This point is, without exaggerating, the neurological and energetic center of the entire pelvic floor. This is the epicenter of compression that we are commenting on, and the good news is that you can access it manually. I will guide you to find it, and it is important to be precise. This point is located in the center of the perineum. The perineum is the white area of tissue between the ano and the base of the scrotum. If you imagine a straight line that joins both, the CV1 is exactly in the center of that line. You can easily feel it sitting on the side. Don't be afraid to explore your own anatomy with curative finds. It's an act of reconnection with your body, similar to massaging a sore shoulder. The technique itself is simple, but it must be done with intention. Using the tip of your middle or index finger, apply firm but gentle pressure directly to this point. Don't want to cause pain. The clave is firm but soft. Once you have pressure, start making small circular movements, massaging the deep tissue. Haga continuously for 60 seconds. The objective is not just to touch the skin, but to send a signal of release to the deep underlying muscles and nerves. But what exactly does this 60-second massage do? Perform 3 crucial actions simultaneously. First, in a more mechanical way, start relaxing the deep muscles of the pelvic floor. These are muscles that, when tense due to stress and sitting, obstruct blood flow and compress the pudendal nerve. The massage directly indicates that it is swelten. It is a manual release of the chronic tension accumulated over the years. Secondly, pressure directly stimulates the pudendal nerve. Think about how you awakened the cable. After years of compression and swelling, the neuronal signal has weakened. This localized massage acts as a call for attention, increasing sensitivity and reminding the neural pathway that must be activated correctly. It is improving the ignition of your system, eliminating static from the communication line between the brain and the pelvis. Thirdly, in Oriental medicine, this point, Huiyin, is considered the starting point of the conception vessel, one of the body's main energetic meridians. It is considered the root of masculine vital energy, Jing. By stimulating this point, a muscle is released on the ground. A fundamental energetic door opens again, reconnecting the body's vital circuit. Energy and flow are invited to return to an area that has been stagnant and blocked, often for decades. The analogy I use is simple. This point is the main switch of the pelvis. When you sit too long and get stressed, it's as if the circuit overloads and the switch trips. The electricity is cut off. The area becomes dark and inoperative. With this 1-minute massage, we physically go to your body's energy box, find the correct switch, and turn it on manually. We restore power to the circuit that you thought was broken. The beauty of this technique lies in how it perfectly combines ancestral wisdom with modern science. Ancestral acupressure has identified this point as crucial for vitality, and now modern pelvic physiotherapy confirms that this is the exact place where tense muscles and the pudendal nerve need to be released. It is not mystical, it's anatomical. Many of my patients who practice it constantly report an immediate sensation of heat, horniness, or a sensation of awakening in the area. This is the sound of the system activating again. Before revealing the fatal error that we all commit, and that could sabotage this technique, let me know. Comment below. Have you heard about the importance of pelvic floor for men's health before watching this video? Is it a completely new concept that you know? Your answer helps me understand how much more we need to talk about these fundamental topics that are often ignored. Now let's get to the booster. This is the part that ends the vicious circle that I mentioned at the beginning. You can massage the CV1 point, but if you make this mistake, the results will be minimal. The main mistake is to perform the technique tensely, with shallow breathing or with contracted abdominals and glutes. If the technique causes you stress or anxiety, your body remains in wrestling or humid mode. You will be fighting with yourself. Your brother will try to free himself, while your nervous system will scream at you to contract. The solution, the true optimizer, is the breath, specifically parasympathetic breathing. Before starting the massage, I want you to feel or sit back comfortably and take 5 deep diaphragmatic breaths. This means inhaling slowly through the nose, allowing the abdomen to expand completely on the chest, holding the breath for a second, and then exhaling slowly through the mouth, as if blowing with a paddle. Continue breathing this deep and slow way during the 60 seconds of the massage. Why is this so crucial? Because an erection, as mentioned, can only occur in the parasympathetic state, the state of rest and recovery. Deep diaphragmatic breathing is the fastest and most direct chemical switch for your body to escape stress mode, sympathetic, and enter recovery mode, parasympathetic. You are manually modifying the chemistry of your body, telling each cell that you are safe and secure. By breathing deeply in this way, the vagus nerve, which controls the parasympathetic nervous system, is stimulated. This, in turn, allows the body to release nitric oxide, the main vasodilator. Nitric oxide is the molecule that literally tells blood vessels to relax and open, allowing blood flow. You cannot achieve a strong erection if you are in wet wrestling mode, because stress inhibits the production of nitric oxide. Deep breathing deactivates the stress mode and activates the production of nitric oxide. Let's go back to our garden hose analogy one last time, because it connects everything. Massaging the CV1 point is what removes the pie from the hose, releasing physical compression on the nerve and vessels. But deep parasympathetic breathing is what really opens the grip to maximum pressure. Both are needed. If you simply remove the pie from the hose, massage, but the grip is closed, stress, it will continue to have little flow. If you open the wrench, breathing, but the foot remains in the hose, compression, it will also have little flow. Magic occurs when you do both things. You release compression and increase flow. Does it seem logical to you? Do you see how these elements, mechanical release and chemical permission, work together? Are you ready to try it? Are you excited to try this technique tonight? If that's the case, I want you to commit. Comment yes below. This is an act of responsibility towards your own health. Writing yes is the first step to telling your body, yourself, that you are ready to reactivate your vitality. By breathing deeply in, this way, the vagus nerve is directly activated, presses on the vagus nerve as well as the brain of the parasympathetic nervous system. It goes from the brain to the abdomen and, when stimulated by diaphragmatic breathing, sends a message of all empty to the entire body. It's a security sign. This safety signal is what allows the body to shift gears, stop producing cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones, and start releasing nitric oxide, the most important signaling molecule for sexual potency. Nitric oxide is what indicates the walls of blood vessels that relax, open up, and allow blood flow. The science that supports these is fascinating and irrefutable. Studies on the connection between the autonomic nervous system and erectile function demonstrate that a state of sympathetic stress actively inhibits vasodilation. You cannot have a physiologically strong erection if you are in wrestling or wet mode. The body cannot do both. Deep breathing is the key to deactivating stress mode. This is the gateway to the parasympathetic state, from where the blood flow is directed back to the pelvic organs, and nitric oxide can finally do its work. Literally, one breathes to create the chemical environment necessary for power. Many men who taught them are reporting a profound change in the soil, in the effectiveness of the massage, as well as in its general condition. MPs and noticing the tension in his body for the first time. A patient said to me, "Doctor, you didn't tell me that you lived with tense shoulders and shallow breathing every day. When you practiced breathing before the massage, I felt that my pelvic muscles relaxed like I hadn't felt in 20 years. This is the liberation we seek. It is a conscious permission for the body to shed the armor it has maintained for so long." So, let's return to our garden hose analogy one last time, because it connects everything perfectly. Remember, the enemy was the man standing on the mango tree. Massaging the CV1 point is what separates the scylla from the hose, releasing direct physical compression on the nerve and blood vessels. But this alone is not enough. Deep parasympathetic breathing is what really opens the grip to maximum pressure. Both are needed. If you simply remove the scylla, massage, but the grip is closed, stress, it will continue to have little flow. If you open the wrench, breathing, but the slate continues over the hose, compression, it will also have little flow. The magic, the true restoration of function, occurs when both things are done simultaneously. Physical compression is released with massage, and the chemical environment is created for maximum flow with breathing. Does it make sense? Do you see how these elements, mechanical release and chemical permission, are from the guys with the same coin? It's not a magic solution, it is a systemic solution. Address the fundamental causes that allowed the problem to unfold in the first place, rather than simply masking the symptoms. Will you try this technique today? Will it take you these 2 minutes? One to breathe and the other to massage? To start reconnecting your system? If that's the case, I want you to commit. It's a commitment to yourself. Comment yes below. It is an act of responsibility towards your own health. Writing yes is the first step to deciding whether you are ready to stop blaming age and start taking intelligent and specific measures to reactivate your vitality. Let's recap what we learned, because repetition is the mother of mastery. The first step, and the most important, was to change perspective. The enemy is not the number of your birthday cakes. The true enemy is chronic compression. It's our modern lifestyle, the hours we spend sitting, which creates a mechanical blockage. We use the analogy of a garden hose stepped on by a hill. This constant pressure compresses the arteries and numbs nerves, such as the pudendal nerve, essential for its functioning. You are not broken, you are simply compressed. I'm paying off the burden of vergenza and putting it within the scope of mechanical solutions. Next, we present you with the basic mechanical solution. The massage technique lasts 1 minute at point CV1, the hui yin, at the center of the perineum. This is not a mystical point. This is the anatomical switch of the pelvic floor. By massaging this point, you achieve two things: relaxing the deep muscles that restrict blood flow and activating the pudendal nerve. In our analogy, this is the act of finally lifting the heavy hose out of the hose. This is the first essential step to allow the flow to be restored in an area that has been stagnant for too long. But removing the scylla doesn't help if the grip is closed. That's why the third step, the resource, is so crucial. The fatal error is trying to make it while tense. The solution is parasympathetic breathing. By breathing deeply with the diaphragm before and during the massage, you are changing your body from stress mode, struggle or loss, to repair mode, rest and recovery. This is the chemical switch that activates the production of nitric oxide. Deep breathing is what completely opens the grip, increasing pressure and allowing blood to flow fully into the now decompressed zone. Your vitality does not control a number in your pastry of celebrations. It controls the signals and the flow. Your body has an incredible capacity to function, heal, and respond when blockages are eliminated. You heard this from me throughout the video, and I wanted it to be truly interior. You're not broken. Maybe you were just compressed. Use this 1-minute technique, combined with breathing, on the ground as a routine exercise, just as a daily reminder that you have the power to reactivate your own health. It's an act of reconnection. You are telling your body that you are listening and that you are ready to give it what it needs to prosper. If this message has given you hope, if it has opened your eyes to a new possibility of healing and control, I urge you to do some things to consolidate this change. First, say, "Me gusta," right now. This simple click indicates that this content is valuable and helps this message reach more men who suffer in silence and need to listen to it. Second, in the comments, say, "What change do you commit to starting this evening?" Breathe, massages, express your intention. If you know a friend, father, or brother who you know could benefit from this, share this video with him. The next logical step is to understand what erases this system from within. Therefore, I invite you to watch my next video about the 3 foods that secretly destroy nitric oxide and which could be sabotaging your results. Subscribe and activate the bell to avoid losing it. The tone changes to a serious, clear, and protective tone. Before finishing, an important note. Remember that this video and all the information shared here are strictly educational and informative. My goal is to know your body, but this information is not a substitute and should not be replaced by a personal medical consultation. I'm not your doctor, and I don't know your medical history or your specific conditions. Erectile dysfunction and changes in sexual potency can sometimes be an early sign of more serious underlying conditions, such as cardiovascular problems or diabetes. Always consult with your qualified health professional before starting any new practice, including this massage technique, to ensure it is safe and appropriate for you. Take care in a comprehensive and safe way.